Paul is creating and leading a program that helps businesses accelerate their fleet transition to clean energy as the program director of Climate Solutions Breaking Barriers Collaborative. We're sure this wasn't an easy journey. Let's hear it for Paul and accelerating businesses to net zero emissions.
Hey everyone, my talk is not going to be nearly as technical or interesting, I don't think, but I'm going to give it a go, so here we go. I'm Paul, I work at Climate Solutions, and as you said, I lead a new initiative called the Breaking Barriers Collaborative. What is the Breaking Barriers Collaborative? Basically, it's a new initiative that was created by Climate Solutions and 4 other nonprofits who have been super successful at passing amazing climate legislation in Washington and Oregon, and then realized that companies and businesses and organizations who have to actually make action happen on the ground, we're having a lot of challenges actually making stuff happening, and we're having challenges reaching the goals that they set. So the area that we decided to start on with fleets. Now, we see trucks, this is a picture of the traffic at I-5. Now, fleets, commercial vehicles only account for 10% of the vehicles on the road in Washington state, but they account for 30% of climate emissions, 50% of particulate matter that's emitted, and over 60% of nitrous oxide emissions. So they have a huge impact beyond their size and beyond their numbers. And so taking down climate emissions and these obviously requires making progress on fleets. Now, the good news is that there is a solution. There are solutions available today, electric vehicles. This is from McKinsey. Those of you know McKinsey, they're a global consulting firm, showing the dates at which transitioning to electric vehicles for businesses can be cost competitive, so the total cost of ownership. And you can see that with certain types of vehicles and types of routes like less than 100 miles, that electric vehicles already have cost advantages over diesel and gas. So the numbers actually make sense, and they're going to continue to get even better. Now, when we think of electric vehicles, I'm sure we've all seen this around. This is Amazon's Rivian, a delivery van. We've all seen these, right? We hear about UPS, we hear about the Postal Service, these huge, huge companies. But the reality is that huge numbers of fleet vehicles actually are with smaller organizations. You can see the numbers up here, that over 20,000 companies have private fleets, and 5% of them have fewer than 200 vehicles, but they don't have the resources of an Amazon or a UPS to hire a huge staff or consultants. So what do? How do we get them to make the transition to a decarbonized fleet? And that is where our first program comes in. It's a Fleet Decarbonization Accelerator. If those of you who are from the tech industry may be familiar with the concept of an accelerator for startups, well, we've taken that concept and applied it and adapted it to operating companies who have fleets, who want to reduce their emissions and need support to actually do that. There's basically 3 core principles to the program. One of them is learning. There's a 12-week curriculum. Participants join every week. Over a 12-week period, we cover everything from EV 101 through to fleet operations, infrastructure. We bring all the utilities in for a day. We bring speakers from Washington State and Oregon to talk about their incentive programs. They learn everything they need to know about fleet decarbonization. But as they're doing it, they're doing homework assignments that become the building blocks of their organization's fleet decarbonization plan. So the idea is that they're not just learning this stuff, they come out of it with an action plan and a financial business case to support the decarbonization of their fleet. And they're supported through their peers, part of the cohort, who are going through this together, as well as mentors. So we've partnered with a national organization, the Electrification Coalition, who are experts in this, and every organization that's part of the program gets 10 hours of one-on-one consulting with Electrification Coalition. As I mentioned before, it's very, very outcome oriented. Action plan, financial business case, networks, access to people from utilities and governments that they may not have access to. You can see here, this is our first cohort, a wide, diverse cohort of organizations, nonprofits, businesses, governments, large. Bajan Station is a sole proprietor doing a food truck, and then all the way up to the Oregon Department of Transportation with hundreds of vehicles. The diversity is what makes the program so successful. Here's some of the results. You can see 90% of the graduates of the 20 who went through it said that it met or exceeded their expectations. 95% said they would recommend it. We also asked questions at the beginning of the program about their level of knowledge and with the same questions afterwards. You can see here that before 16% said they felt confident in their knowledge how to transition. At the end, it was 90%. We are starting our winter cohort in January. It starts January 24th. If you want to learn more about the program, we actually have a free informational webinar tomorrow at noon. And feel free to go to the website, learn more about the program, and sign up. And that's it. Thanks so much for your time.